28 months down, yeah, the industry's been bruised, but we're not here to fold, we're here to refuse. While others pause, we built the plays, now we're leading the charge in a brand new phase. You feel that tension, that's the pressure to grow. Hiring's messy, turnovers high and budgets low, but we don't panic, we adapt. We sharpen the edge and reload the map. This is the staffing playbook, strategy on tap. Steven brings the grit, G Money brings the slap. Forget the fluff, forget the spin. We give you plays that actually win. From the break room floor to the boardroom seat, we've walked the walk, now we bring the heat. CDLs, forklifts, line leads, and execs. We place the best and fix the wrecks. Insight, hustle, leadership bold. No safe takes, just the truth told cold. Wanna scale your team, wanna close that gap. We've got the data, the story, and the roadmap. So turn it up, lock it in. This is more than a podcast, it's a win. This is the staffing playbook. Let's get to work, it starts right now.
Welcome back to the Staffing Playbook podcast, the #1 most downloaded podcast in the staffing industry throughout the world. I'm your host, Steve Farrell. I am joined by my co-host,
Geneviève Bourgeois. How are you?
Welcome. I'm good. How are you doing today?
Dismal at best.
Dismal.
Nah. Listen, over here at Yes, it is the last week of Q3, so it's a crazy one for us, but we got it.
We do. So we are going to be diving into the latest staffing headlines. Tech cooling off, light industrial, is it stabilizing? We're going to answer that question. Seasonal hiring kicking in for Q4. There's been some compliance shakeups. 1 week it's visas, the next week it's non-competes. It's like staffing compliance whack-a-mole. So we're going to unpack what this means for agencies, employers, and workers heading into Q4. We are joined by our regular panelists, Kim Henderson and Richard Rosner. How are you two doing today?
Awesome.
Always good.
Yes. So, these two heavy hitters here, you got Kim Henderson. She's a powerhouse in staffing leadership, known for building people, companies, and strategies that actually scale. Richard Rosner, what's staffing without a little bit of a bite from the shark himself, aka the staffing shark? Richard Rosner is here. If you guys are regulars, he's a straight shooter, he's a disruptor, and he's made a career out of challenging really the old playbook with fresh creative approaches to recruiting. So you've seen him on LinkedIn. He's not afraid to stir things up and tell it how it is. So together, these two represent two sides of the staffing game: wisdom and innovation, steady strategy, and fearless energy. I can't wait to dive in with both of you today. So let's buckle. Let's get going, guys.
Let's do it.
Kim, I want to start with you. You just got done at TempNet here in Park City, Utah, not too far from where we're at today. How did that go? Tell us what you taught. What did you learn? What are you seeing out there based on, that peer network you were, rubbing elbows with?
All right, TempNet. Yes. So TempNet had about 140, 150 people, good crowd, just large enough to meet, greet, navigate, and reconnect with old friends, but not too overwhelmingly big. By and large, at TempNet, you've got staffing companies that are in contract staffing placement, right, is the name would denote. And I gave a session out there, 2 sessions out there on Friday, and a peer of mine gave 2 sessions on Thursday. I would say, okay, if we can net something down, 100% sales, and sales again, as we know, is everybody's top priority, major concern, right? People are really kind of asking, okay, how can I be different? What can I do that's going to make me stand out? How can I get more business? How can I get new business? Another piece of it too that was very tied into it, which again, we're starting to see it, more melded together versus 2 separate things. Sales and marketing. People are like, how can I use marketing? How can I leverage it? How can I incorporate it into my business, right? To make sales easier, right? Since they're both complementary items. So a lot of talk about sales and marketing, differentiation. What can I ask? How can I position myself? What are some of the offerings or things that I can do, or sell that's different than my competition? Where should I be aimed? Where should I be poised? And then also, how can we get prepared for not only for Q4, but for Q1 of next year, right? Getting out there, as we talked about last time, getting in front of our clients and our prospects, figuring out what they're going to need so we can at least be prepared, get pipeline built, and get ourselves kind of organized and pointed in the right direction. So wonderful event, but definitely, guys, I think the tone is, we had an okay year. We're doing okay. But we've really got to drill down on sales and make sales happen and create that demand that's out there.
I just got to laugh about that. Seriously, cookie cutter staffing still. I got to stop it, guys. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah. Marketing is so easy. They just don't do it the right way. I mean, seriously, just listen to Gary Vee and you'll know. That's all.
Yeah. I work in marketing. Is it that easy?
It is easy in our industry because nobody's doing the good stuff. It's the same shit.
Shark, to your point, a lot of companies out there just aren't doing it. They're not. They're doing the outreach, the cold calls, the emails, but they're not
info information
on LinkedIn or all the. Again, guys, what struck me last week is a lot of the in-person events, right? Whether it be a dinner, a lunch, a golf outing, a coffee, an on-site client visit, companies got away from that. We know that over the past few years, and, many have started to resurrect it, but not to the degree. My observation, and I'll say it's anecdotal, is companies are not out there in front of face-to-face with customers as much as they need to be. That's the game changer. No one bought anything from me sitting behind my desk.
I love that. And real quick, before we go, can I give a plug real quick? 3:00 today after this show, Curiosity Selling on my platform. Check it out. I got Jamie on. She's going to rock it out. So
check it out. Go, Richard's got to jump from this one 45 minutes in so we can get ready for that. I really like what you shared, Kim. And, it's great to see agencies talking about preparing for Q4, not just Q4, but Q1. And then how do we get sales and marketing aligned? We've been talking about that topic for a year now, Genevieve.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, it's all going back into the zipper effect. And sometimes it gets to the point where you just need to go get in the room, sit down with your team, and actually go and talk to everyone and come up with a formulated plan and then execute it. That's the most important part, because marketing.
Execution. Thank you.
We can only do so much and we can only drive in so many leads, but it comes to the execution piece, because we'll go and execute one end of the funnel, right? But the sales team needs to be on the same page, all right? And they need to go follow up and they need to execute on their end. However, it needs to be a cohesive process and people need to be communicating with one another. It's not one department versus the other.
That's right. Zipped up like links on a jacket.
Woo, man, look at that.
All right.
Hold people accountable too, G-Money. It's like, they have to be held accountable. Everyone does. I mean, again, to the metrics, right? A certain number of face-to-face client meetings, intake discovery calls. There's accountability there, and that which gets measured gets done.
Oh, exactly. Steve knows I will go and follow up with people.
Yes,
real quick, follow the Chick-fil-A Netflix marketing plan and you guys will crush it. I swear to God. Do not create something that's staffing industry because the marketing's not working across the board. It's the same old thing.
Well, I'll give you guys, I'll give you a little teaser. A month from now, Genevieve and I will be interviewing our CEO of Your Employment Solutions. And he's going to talk about how, this is for the last 3 years, every year has been our best year in the last 3 years. Yeah. And this year has been our best year, substantial growth, unbelievable growth that if I was to say the number, a lot of help from everybody, right? If I were to say the number out loud, you guys wouldn't even believe it, right? And so I'm not going to say the number out loud, but we're gonna really just get into the playbook of how, during the last this past 3 years, our industry has been in a recession, it's been in decline, yet we have not been. We've continued to grow substantially, and so we're actually going to ask every question. And he's going to give every single detail of how we got there, how we got to where we are today and where we're going. And Kim, you mentioned, people are talking about Q1. Well, I was just in a meeting this morning where we were talking about 2030, the year 2030, right?
That's good.
Planning for 5 years from now. Less than 5
Strategic
years.
plan. Love
That's
it.
right.
Ooh, 5 years from now.
All right. So yeah, you got a crystal ball on that one, Richard? Because that's a
Nah,
hard.
I only go
prediction
2.5, brother, because I might
Yeah.
not be here that long. So
I'm like,
2.5.
I'm just trying to get through the day.
In
No.
little segments. I always say that 2.5 and then 2.5. That's 5 years.
There you go.
Oh, I'm,
right,
I'm
well,
like,
let's-
I'm
let's
on a
get-
daily basis over
I
here.
did my math.
I know, just living by the minute. Well, let's get into some of the news that's hit recently. There's a lot going on. You know, you've got the August numbers. IT shed about 5,000 jobs. There is some hiring in IT, but it's mostly AI, cybersecurity. You know, those are the roles that are really that we're starting to see advertised a lot more frequently. Pay rates seem to have stabilized a little bit, or maybe even dropped. So is that a sign of supply and demand rebalance? You know, IT revenue is still down in 2025, but it's starting to show signs that it's going to kind of level out. So, you know, Kim, Richard, are you seeing anything on the IT staffing front? What trends are you guys noticing out there? Anything?
You want to go, Kim, first? Go ahead.
I'm seeing IT actually rebound a little bit.
You are.
And again, I guess it all depends on, where you're navigating, who you're talking to in the area of the country, but I'm seeing IT demand ticking up a bit from where it was at the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah, you got those mass layoffs all year long.
Yeah. We get so much, I feel like, conflicting information, over this past, 2 years. It's like one thing says this, something else says completely the opposite. Then we'll experience something good, then something kind of negative. And to your point, Stephen, they're saying 60% of companies anticipate workforce reductions in 2026, according to a new resume.org survey. Right. I guess anyone can make their survey, answer whatever their point they're trying to make. But I feel like, taking it back to the answer to your question, I feel like I'm seeing anecdotally the companies I work for that are IT, that IT hiring is ticking up, which is positive. Not dramatically, but ticking up. What do you think, Richard?
Well, before I go to Richard, do you think we've gone from like this free for all, right? 2022 in IT staffing, to only if you're mission critical, right? Kind of like what you're seeing in healthcare staffing. Is the difference between ordering a combo meal versus a la carte, right? Is that what we're seeing in IT?
I think you have a lot of personally pent up demand, right? Because projects got put on hold this year. And let's face it, last year wasn't all glowing either. Projects got put on hold then as well. So work maybe got delayed. And to your point, Stephen, maybe it was just the key components, like the must-have type of things that got the funding. And maybe some of the other things on the periphery didn't get funding. So I feel like maybe it's pent-up demand to the point where now it's like, okay, we're getting near the end of the year. We kind of see how things are shaking out, almost a year after an election. So people are starting to loosen up the purse strings a little bit. And as I mentioned last time, I think November and December, sometimes even October, they look and go, I've got budget dollars to use. If I don't use them, I'm going to lose them. So I think at least what I'm seeing from a uptick, it's pent up demand of projects and things that were put on hold as a wait and see. And now maybe they're going forward with it to a small degree. And you're right, Stephen, it's not gangbusters hiring. It's not, 1999, and it's not, 2022 or 2021. It's more normalized and moderated. It's normalized.
Gotcha.
And so I do have a quick follow-up question. This goes for both of you, but also with the Feds going and decreasing inflation, right? And cutting the rates, the interest rates. And it looks like it's forecasted in October for that to happen again. Mm-hmm. That's probably actually impacting a lot of companies and a lot of businesses, where they now feel more comfortable by having more capital to go and proceed with these projects.
Yeah.
Like, would you agree or disagree with me on that?
I agree that, when you do cut rates, it spurs business. It encourages businesses to make, capital investments and also to hire. Then the flip side of that, my worry is, and we all know that every time you cut rates and you start having cheap money sloshing through the system, then you end up, having more inflation. So again, you're right. It's just that tightrope, right? It's that tight balancing act. It's like could spur economic development, hiring, and activity, but with that, you run the risk of higher and quicker inflation.
Yep.
All right,
Richard, I know you got a lot to say.
Oh, yeah. First off, the Staffing Shark report estimates that in 2026, there's going to be a 20% growth in staffing. That's my report. See? So my report's positive, guys.
But I love the fact that you have your official staffing
report. I have my own report, right? But I'll joke aside.
List?
Yeah,
exactly. I want to see that dashboard.
But you know what? I agree with Kim. I mean, IT, I think what they said is, it's that computer science degree and stuff like that they're like keep pushing. It's like no go because of AI, but the technical jobs are there. I see them all the time, and the companies I'm working with, they're hiring. It's that onesie twosies. It's not like a group like it was back before, but there's a lot of contract work coming out now, like Kim said, that was on hold because anytime you have a new president, it takes about a year to get that worked out. They're kind of, it doesn't matter who it is. It's jittery. So now I think we're at that point now where technology is going to be just, I kind of say flatline. It's nothing like it was 8 years ago when we had a tech boom and all that stuff, but it is growing. I mean, but very slowly, but that's with every industry. So at the end of the day, it's about, being smart. And, if you're in technology, don't give up. Here's the thing Kim said, what hit me on the head is that so many people out there are bashing everything about technology. Get out of the industry, get out of that stuff. There is companies hiring. You just have to find it. And it takes time.
Yeah.
It's for engineering. I know you do a lot of engineering hiring. Okay, engineers do not grow on trees, right? Whether it's, test engineers, industrial engineers, professional engineers, electrical, mechanical, chemical, they don't grow on trees. Those are people that are highly skilled resources. They're not out there hanging out there on a job board waving a flag. They typically they're the passive candidates that need to be, recruited out, to go and fill the open jobs that we have. So yeah, those jobs aren't going away. They're very tight.
Not at any time soon. And I'm going to just tell you guys with the engineerings, the ones I'm working with, they want contract work. They want that because they make more money that way. They don't want that full-time job with benefits. They'll put their own because they can make a lot of money. So I've seen probably 75% are asking me for jobs. They want that contract.
Yes. And I love contract anyway, guys, because Stephen, I know you do as well. You guys do a lot of it. I mean, a lot of people love being contractors. They get the experience, like you said, Shark, more money. And then let's say they go there and they don't like it. All they have to do is make it for 6 months, 9 months, 3 months. And then they're like, whoo, completed my assignment, learned, got paid. And my resume looks great because I completed the assignment, on to the next,
And I can tell you, I come from a family of engineers and I am just not an engineer. But it is one of those things I have seen, like some of my siblings, even my father, my brother-in-law, like all of them go through this whole cycle, and a lot of them do actually prefer contract work. And it's a very high, like sought out skill. And like, I mean, my brother-in-law, we'll get into this another day or offline, but it's like one of those things. He's only one of like 3 people in the world that does what he does. So it's worth a very, very pretty penny. Okay.
Just like Kim Henderson, she's one of 10 too in the country, right?
She's one of one.
Yeah, Kim Henderson is a unicorn.
The assassin.
The assassin.
So you said engineers don't grow on trees, but I thought they grew. Didn't they grow on Excel pivot tables?
No,
I can't remember.
No.
Okay, sorry, that's a bad joke. All right. Couple other things real quick. So you've got, I know we don't trust the jobs report, but again, there's some signals in here. Light industrial jobs added 4,100 jobs in August. That's terrible.
4,100. Oh, God.
Transportation, 2,500. So really, it's kind of unusual to see this, what's going on right now in the market. But then you read headlines like starting today, Target is starting their seasonal ramp up. So they have plans to hire 100,000 employees across the country. Amazon, Bath and Body Works, Kohl's, Macy's, UPS. Although it's slower this year, they're still, predicting about 30,000 new jobs, seasonal jobs. So, holiday hiring is definitely down. It's softer compared to last year. but there's still a demand there. And so to your point, Kim, when you mentioned, TempNet talking about, Q4 and Q1, if you haven't prepared, you're already behind your competition, but certainly there are seasonal demands that the industry can maximize on today, and they should be, right?
I'm going to make a prediction here. So when it comes to the seasonal holiday demand, I think it's going to be a little bit better than expected because unemployment is still at like 4.3%, which is historically low, guys. It is low. Number two, stock market keeps hitting fresh highs every single week. So people do have, more money that they potentially can spend in terms of, in some cases, in their household. So I don't think it's going to be a gloom and doom holiday season because I think, again, you got the stock market and low unemployment that are propelling things, in a positive direction. And then, of course, on the other hand, we get kind of that tepid job news of no one really expanding, right? They're not expanding, but they don't seem to be laying off en masse yet. As we said, 2026, they're anticipating workforce reductions, but who knows if that comes to fruition, right? For now, it's steady.
So here's what we're going to say real quick, Kim, about seasonal work. Okay, so they have these numbers here, and I've done this for 10 years. But the question is, how are you going to get the candidates? Nobody's going to work for $15 an hour for seasonal unless their benefits up from assistance from a government or something. I'm going to be honest with you. So that's where we're going to have that
Wait
lag.
a minute. I thought you brought and found a bunch of seasonal people with your job fairs.
I do. Yeah.
Oh, you get it. You slap them, G-Money.
No, I do. But guess what? I convert 15 to 23. But I'm just going to say that I'm going across the basis here. So here's what I'm saying is not me, because I'll upcharge it. Most of these staffing firms will do 15 and that's it. You cannot survive on that. And then you know what? Target says 100,000 people they're going to hire. 2 weeks. If it gets a little slow, guess what? 50,000 of them are laid off. I mean, it happens all the time. Seasonal goes up and down. But to get people to work for under $20 ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
As a second job, they might, right? Like, let's say you wanted a second job at Christmas time, go to Target, work there on Saturday, Sunday, Friday night.
But the more you make, the more they take in your, at the end of the year. So
that's true too. That's true too, sadly, yes.
And so I'll go and just say, because I do have a hospitality background. And so it's one of those things, if I'm going to be leaving my home, bare minimum is 300. Okay. But like if I'm going to go bartend a private party, that's a bare minimum. Depending on the time frame, I charge a very, very high number, but I also have a very different skill set. That's very high end. And so the thing is, would I rather go do that every once in a while? Yeah, sure. It's fun. It's social. But going back to Shark's point, is it really okay here? Oh, I'm only going to work 3 hours and I have to go get a babysitter to go take care of my kids. And because for everyone, there's something else different. And so you got to think about that opportunity cost of what am I giving up in order to go take that. And so this is where with the wages, I honestly, I'm on Shark's side with that. I'm not gonna lie.
If I could add to that, Richard, we've had record historic numbers of people taking second jobs or even third jobs, right? We've hit a record back in, I think it was April this year when it was like around 9 million people. And so, how many more people are left out there that can or willing, or to John Biev's point, can make accommodations to take on that second job, and the point that you made earlier about why am I going to leave a permanent job for a seasonal job? And if the wage isn't great, that's a whole nother problem. But yeah, it's really interesting. I didn't think about that until you guys brought it up. Is it going to be a soft Q4 with these seasonal jobs just because of the economy where it's at today? It's just not feasible.
Well, the seasonal jobs, you guys know that. I'm going to mention a name, but the logistic companies, you work 4 hours, you take 3 off and work back. Your whole day is killed. You're not getting paid for them 3 hours. They put you in the morning and they put you in the evening. And you get your 8 hours. And so how are you going to go back and forth with that? So, I mean, there's a lot of work that needs to be done with the companies and to find the workers. And I think at the end of the day, it's like seasonal work's not going to last you till January. You know that. you guys, sometimes they end before Christmas, and then you're like, they're stuck.
I think too, it probably depends on your financial situation. I mean, maybe some people would be motivated and be like, wow, I need every dime I can get. Then to John B.'s point, others look at it going, I got to get a babysitter. I got to do this. Gosh, I'm tired. I'm working a 40-hour week already. So I think it depends. That's probably like the best way to say it. It just depends on the person and their personal situation, right?
Well, I got to tell you guys, that most people in seasonal work are on survival mode. You know that. I mean, we're going to be frank about that. That this is their livelihood. The people that's going to work a part-time second job, they could just go at the country club and bartend or something like that. I mean, for them to go on Amazon or 1M and hurt their back. I mean, so who knows? But I think we're going to have a little bit of a challenge this year. I'm going to say straight up.
I read something recently. I wish I had the article to go pull up, but it was one of those things where 59% of Americans have between 2 to 3 jobs right now.
Right.
Okay. So how is that going to go? And that's right now. This is not even seasonal. That is what they are doing on average to survive. So when it comes to the seasonal part, will we actually even have the people who have the capacity to even take that on?
Well,
Exactly.
Let me layer on to that. This one would be good for you, Kim, to start off with.
No, I'm slapping you away from this one. No.
The first time since 2021, there's more job seekers than openings, right? That's scary. Then you've got, what just happened in the White House. You had the H-1B fee hike that was normally just a couple $100 for tech firms. Now it's $100,000. And so that means tech companies are likely going to be looking internally, with their own workforce here in the States. And so that might, widen the gap of more jobs, or will that widen the gap for, unemployment to be even higher? Is it going to help with unemployment? I mean, there's just a lot that's going on, but the fact that we're already seeing the gap of job seekers versus job openings narrow. And, when you look at 10,000 baby boomers since 2020 hit retirement age, and when the economy stabilized, you'll see a mass exodus of retirees in the workforce. Those positions going to get backfilled. It's just the labor participation rates, not really going to shift much. So I think we're at a crossroads, Kim, where we're going to start seeing more jobs than there are people. And what do we do? As an industry, how do we respond to that?
So I think we're forgetting one very big demographic here, right? So let's talk about, high school kids and college kids, right? While they're in school. I mean, what a great opportunity to go, let's say you're a high schooler and go work at Target, for Christmas time, or extra money while you're in college. And let's face it, when you're in college, you don't have classes all day long, every single day necessarily. You do have a little bit more spare time. They need money. They need experience, right? At TechNet, somebody was talking to me about how, I can't remember what publication they were citing. They're basically saying that this whole Gen Z and younger than Gen Z, a lot of these folks have never had jobs in their life until they go out into the work world post-college, and that's like their very first job. And these employers are like, well, no wonder they're struggling. They've never had to go out and figure out how to work with people on a team. They didn't have jobs in high school. They didn't have jobs in college. So what I'd say is that's a great opportunity for that demographic to come in and start to get some experience one-on-one with people, taking direction, having a supervisor, working in teams and all that. So I'd say that right there could be an answer, right? Or at least a potential answer.
I mean, come on, Kim. We gotta keep it real. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, they can go on YouTube and make more money than at Target. So I mean, these kids are all doing their own business.
Everyone.
They're selling jewelry.
Not
you go on TikTok.
YouTube, TikTok.
You go on TikTok. Every Gen Z's on there hustling something.
Okay,
Perfume,
I'm not gonna lie. I've actually seen that. It's like one of those things like.
It's true. Gen Zs are everywhere pushing it. Here's the thing real quick, and I'll let you guys talk.
They're actually using AI to go and build businesses to make more money.
It is. Forbes magazine said right now that manufacturing, they're trying to push it in 7th grade now. These schools are now going with technical stuff to try to get all these kids at 7th and 8th grade, which, thinking of a career, put them in some kind of technical things so they can maybe go manufacturing, because, we're flipping now. We have more manufacturing jobs than we do white collar jobs. I mean, they're everywhere. You can get a manufacturing job anywhere if you want to, but it's not that good a pay yet. but that's where we're at. I mean,
here's the thing. This goes back to many, many episodes. And Kim, you actually said this, one of the smartest things. And I feel like there's a whole generational gap where we were told that this was not a smart idea. And I fall in that gap, in that range. But like, no, the skilled trades. Okay. Plumbers, electricians. I have a plumber who wants to come fix my garbage disposal and I'm twitching. Because I already know the price it's going to be. But it's something like I've already tried to fix it. I've already had my neighbor tried to fix it. I've already had a couple of my friends tried to fix it. So now I have to go shell out something so then it is actually taken care of. And so the skilled trades, I feel like now we're doing a course correction, going back to Richard's point of starting to educate people at a younger age that there is an alternative option.
Well,
and I agree. We should be doing that. And then one more demographic, okay, on this whole seasonal work type of thing. Let's look at maybe our retirees, right? Or these people that, freshly retire, kind of just quit and they're going, okay, I can only play so much golf. I can only do so much pickleball in life. Maybe I'll go here for and get some extra Christmas cash.
Oh boy,
go work at Target or something like that. I mean,
but here we go, Kim. Like logistics sake, I hate to say it. I've hired people at a certain age sometimes, and they can only do a couple hours a day. I mean, it's strenuous work. It is, and so you got to factor this in of where you could plug and play them at. So. And a lot of retirees are just wore out. They're wore out with what's going on now with the jobs. They don't want to deal with it. They're just, I'm going to walk away.
I'm going to give you the but. I'll give you the opposite of that. Okay. So
Go for it. Let's do it.
About several months ago, you have all these, a lot of Americans that live paycheck to paycheck. You got a lot of people that are nearing retirement or have retired, and they're kind of looking at inflation and looking at their with their long-term prognosis and saying, maybe I don't necessarily have enough to go and make it to 95, or it could be a stretch, or gosh, am I going to be eating fancy feast when I'm, in my 90s? So maybe some of them want to go back, not only for the financial means, but, extra interaction, be out around people, do something stress-free. I mean, running the register at Target stress-free, or Macy's. That's
a
not
Walmart greeter, you mean? But here's the thing is, Kim, I'm going to throw back at you real quick. Here is actually like you making this kind of money, and then you're going to go to Target, make $10 an hour just to like have fun. They're not making any money. So these side jobs, these part-time jobs for these people that are retired, are like $100 a week. It's not even worth their time. If they're bored, yes. If they're trying to make an extra income, no way. It's not going to keep up to their cost of living.
I need for the two of you to talk to my aunts, okay? Because the thing is, they have retired. They literally, they don't need the extra money. It's something to keep them entertained. And okay, my fantastic Aunt Diane, she's like, I think I want to become a dog groomer. Okay. She's like, that's too much work. And so she's actually an avid marathon runner. And she's like, okay. So for half the year when they're snowbirds, okay, for half the year, she's like, oh, so I get my dog fix. Okay. And so she'll go and grab a couple of dogs and go take them out on like a 5-mile run. And that is her thing that gets her out of the house. It's not even for the money piece, but that's something that she genuinely loves doing. And then, Roseanne, she decided that she wanted to become a blackjack dealer. And then one day she gave me a call. She was like, do you think I'd make a great barmaid? I laughed so hard at that. And she's like, I can't do any of the fancy. She said a couple of other words that I'm not going to say here, but she was like, okay. She's like, she's like, all right, I can do the beer, the wine, vodka, soda. Like, and so, but it's to get out of the house. But the thing is, like, those jobs, one of them, they can pay and charge whatever they want to do because it's a convenience and a solution. I know how much I pay my pet sitter. Okay. And so they can set their hours and do anything else. And then the other one was like, if this pops up, I'll do it. So do you think that's where we can go and tap into that? Because they do have some of those people.
Before I get out of here, guys, I got to tell you, hit a point. These retirees are now starting their own jobs, landscaping or lawn care. So they're not going to Target. They're actually, and I've seen this in an article, they're just being creative now and starting something in their neighborhood, and they can make a lot of money. So that's another alternative.
Well, let me add some more here. So Kim, I actually agree and disagree with your recommendations for let's focus on the high school kids. Let's focus on the retirees.
This is a good show.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's good. It's good.
We love this.
Let me tell you why I disagree first. The U.S. birth rates are below the replacement rate, right? They're under 2. And that's not going to be fixed tomorrow unless, everybody has 11 kids all of a sudden tomorrow. That's a 20-year potential fix, right? Which doesn't look like that's going to happen because it's just the way the trends are going. And so regardless of, focusing on high schoolies, retirees, there's just not enough people, right, to cover the jobs. But here's the caveat here. This is where this is not a national solve, but this is a local solve. This is a company solve that that I believe you're presenting here, Kim, is if you're a local company, you've got a name, you're involved in your community, you're at the career fairs, you're holding workshops with high school kids, you're getting involved with the schools and the trade schools, you're being an ambassador for your company, your manufacturing facility, whatever it may be. You're gonna attract those candidates right out of high school. You've developed a long-term relationship with them, and they're gonna come and work for you. But that solves your problem, but doesn't solve the national crisis of this labor shortage. And with the retirees, whether it's pet sitting, whether it's Target. By the way, Target pays 18 an hour, Richard, not 10.
I never said 10. Time out here. 18 is under 20.
He said 15.
He said
15 and 18 is under 20. I said nobody's gonna work for 20.
And Walmart greeter, like I hope when I'm retired I can go work at Walmart and be a greeter. Like that would be a dream for me. I'd love that. It'd be so fun.
It's easy. You just stand there.
Okay, after the first day, you tell me what you think after the first day, guys. I guarantee you'll change your mind.
Companies like Target and Walmart and others, they attract that demographic and they do a good job with that. But again, that solves for a local, market, not nationally. And so that's where, I agree with you, Kim. I just don't think nationally, working with high schools, there's going to be a lot of losers and there's going to be a few winners when it comes to bringing in that talent.
But going back to Kim's point about actually providing that level of access, because in college, like going for a business school degree or something else like that, that's not for everyone. And so and it goes back to the whole, having these having these conversations, having that as an option out there before you have a whole generation in debt, and actually exposing people to it versus, and so that's something there. However, I can tell you in my generation, it's one of those things that was, no, you don't want to become a this or that. It's like, no, I know truck drivers who make more money than I do. Okay.
Right.
And it's like, man, I really should have gotten a CDL license.
Well, but you know what? I love what you said there real quick. The college bubble hit us. It's right here. The college bubble is boom, it's blowing up. College campuses are closing everywhere. I mean, Penn State, we closed 5 campuses out of 19 in the state of Pennsylvania because of funding and nobody's going. So now you see the next 10 years, I'm going to make this prediction. This flip of going to college is going to be it's going to be getting skilled. We just aren't there yet. We're just in the beginning of that. But the college burst, nobody's going to college anymore and spend $100,000. I mean, you see enrollments down everywhere across the country. You tell me one college that says, I'm rocking out. They're not. Sorry, it isn't happening. So this is where we're at. We just got to wait. It's a waiting game.
I would heavily agree with you on that, because I think everyone on this call,
Thanks, Kim.
it was like told our pathway to success was, okay, go get a college degree. Go get that's the pathway to good earnings and a great life, right? And I think that's what we were all told, and by and large, what a lot of folks did. And we'll call it Generation X and the millennial generation as well. Now, at the Shark's point, people are realizing, hey, that is not the only pathway to success in life, right? i.e. skilled trades, i.e. there's so many other ways to make money out there and have a great life and a good career and a livelihood that don't require college. And as you said, Shark, 100K in debt. And I really, really look forward to see, the next generation, see how many of them actually go to college or go out and pick a trade and make money off of it and start their own business. So I think you're right.
Yeah, I can tell you, I've got a very expensive piece of paper that's covered up by some plants. So
And G Money, every time I'm thinking the plants are just gonna like envelop you. Every other week they get bigger and bigger and bigger. Like,
Who's that character from Batman? Ivy? Is it
Poison ivy.
Poison Ivy? Yeah.
Is
that's
that
gonna
what
be,
it should be for Halloween? I need help. Please, everyone, go put it in the chats. What should I be for Halloween? Because I love scaring the kids in the neighborhood. Last year I was Beetlejuice, and they're fabulous photos.
Freddy Krueger. Be Freddy Krueger.
All right. Let's keep going.
So Richard, I know you're going to jump any minute, so feel free to jump at any point. Here's some other industry moves, some leadership changes. Kelly Services. I don't know if you guys have read this. Chris Layden, he's the new CEO. He came from ProLink and Manpower. CrossMed acquired Summit Medical Staffing. ARG acquired Vergent, or however I say that. If you go and just look up staffing agencies, staffing firms for sale, they're at a historic all-time high. So, we're going to continue to see more mergers and acquisitions. You're going to see, some of these smaller firms, which make up for about 80% of staffing, that are at that 5 million mark or a little bit under. They're struggling. They're closing their doors. What's your take on all of these changes? Are we seeing a consolidation? Is it about survival? Is it about scale? What does a CEO change at a giant like Kelly Services signal to the rest of the industry? What's your take, Kim? Or should we start with Richard, since he's got to leave any second?
Go first because you have to leave.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think first off, a lot of staffing firms were top heavy. I mean, they had a lot of people at levels where they're getting rid of them, and I always say the most important person in a staffing firm is the recruiter, the people on the streets. I love them. And the sales reps, the people never gets recognized. I love you all, peeps. They're the ones. So you see all these C-level people being district managers and all that. You don't need all these. I mean, I had a district manager showed up once every year and he said, hey, just say I was there. I mean, I'm not going to mention his name, but I see where this is coming from. So that part there. And I think the next part is a lot of these big staffing firms, I'm going to say it, they have so many offices now, all this overhead, they own all these buildings, they got to start liquidating. So these little small staffing firms at 10 to 15, 20 recruiters can start kicking ass. I think they're going to be the ones that are going to gobble up a lot of the territory in the future.
Yeah. Kim.
Yeah. I think a lot of these staffing firms overexpanded, right, in 2021 and 22 to go and answer the demand, right? So you have gangbuster hiring. You need more sales reps, you need more recruiters, and you need more managers. And the next thing you know, like you said, you've overexpanded. So I think now what they're doing is kind of trying to right size a little bit to go and match the demand out there, which is like what we're saying, kind of so-so, kind of tepid, depending on where you're at. I would also say that a lot of these companies, that we talked about mergers and acquisitions, that's why you build a contract staffing company, right? That's why I have a group of partners, or had a group of partners, and we were building our contract staffing company for sale, right? Because ultimately that's the game. That's how you eject out of it and how everybody can get paid. Otherwise, you can't get paid, right? And you don't want to just build a perm agency, because then you leave the keys on the counter when you retire, and there's really not a ton of value there without the contract piece. So what I'd say is you have a lot of companies that are going, okay, is now the time to jump and get out and and cash in. But what I would say is right now is not, because the multiples are not there. The multiples are lower. So I think a lot of them are maybe just going, okay, I've got like 100 contractors on assignment or 200 contractors on assignment. I think I'm doing great. I want to sell. But I would submit to them, it's not enough yet. It's not enough. You're not going to get enough money. If you've only got 100 or 200 contractors, you really need to go and get yourself closer to 75 or 100 million in revenue to be able to go and make it worthwhile, to get noticed, to get the right multiple, and to cash out and pay you and pay your partners. So what I'd say is, if you're, 100 contractors, you're 10, 20 million or whatever, you're not ready yet. You really should stick with it a few more years and get larger, so you can go and hit that cash register for real when you sell. Mm-hmm. So that's my thought there.
Love it, Kim. Now, when to hold them and when to fold them. All right, guys, I got to go, man. But hey, take care, my friends.
Thanks, Richard.
Everybody, love you.
We'll see Richard on his next live here in a few minutes, and we'll see him at Staffing World. Kim, I got just a couple more minutes to wrap things up. Sure. I want to move into technology and automation, AI. You've seen some. You got iSIMS that acquired Aptly. I think that's how you say it, APLI. They're an AI powered recruiting automation, platform. Greenhouse rolled out anti-fraud for their applicant system. So, detects bots and AI cheaters. Generative AI overall is just expanding into job matching and outreach. I read a article from Staffing Hub that said those that are using AI agents for voice screening and job matching and candidate screening, it's now saving that per recruiter on average 17 hours per week. So you could have, for two recruiters, you're doing the work of one with AI, or the work of AI is doing, pretty much the work of two recruiters. And so, I know you were just at TempNet. What kind of discussions were you guys having? What were you seeing when it comes to really embracing AI as a partner? Or are we seeing more fear? Are we fearing it as a competition? Like when the job boards like Indeed hit the market, staffing agencies freaked out, thought we were going to go out of business, but in fact, we grew our business substantially. I mean, what are you seeing? What are you hearing?
So last week at TempNet, there was a marketing company that came in, one of the large ones that we're all familiar with in our industry, and, excuse me, did quite a big presentation on AI and how you can use it, better from a marketing standpoint. So I think that the net was, when we talked about AI last week, it was more in the vein of, okay, everybody's using it. We're going to continue to use it. We've got to get better at it, right? And try kind of, like we said, trial and error of the tools. But it kept going back to the basic mechanics of the business, right? On the recruiting and the sales side. Got to have the relationships, got to be in front of candidates, got to be in front of clients, and still doing all that face-to-face, rapport, trust building, making those emotional deposits, right? Because those are the firms that are going to come out on top and win. If you're just solely relying on, AI and somebody's sitting there trying to find a job and they're talking to a bot, what kind of loyalty are they going to have to your staffing firm? Are they going to give you a referral business? No. The ones that are going to win are the ones that, as we know, that can take the AI to kind of make them more efficient, better, smarter, faster, but still not eliminate that face-to-face. I'm your recruiter. I'm your career counselor here to help you your entire life, your entire career, to help you identify your next job and guide you through it. Like I always say, we in our industry want to be the vanguard, right? So think about vanguard. It's like we're going to teach you how to save for retirement, right? Get your 401k and then roll that into your IRA. And then we're going to guide you through retirement so your money doesn't run out. We're going to take you the whole life cycle from your first job all the way until you, God forbid, pass away, to make sure your money lasts. It's not like a penny stock, like a stockbroker. Hey, I got this hot stock tip, go buy this stock, and then you're in and you're out of it and they're gone. If staffing companies have in their mind that they want to become the vanguard, that long-term counselor, right, for their clients and for their candidates, those are going to be the ones that win. They can use the AI smart and have that counselor mentality and understand not only candidates, but understand industries, business problems in the industry, nuances within an industry, and become, again, like that subject matter expert and solution specialist to a client. Right. Those are the ones that are going to win.
Okay. So just to kind of sum that all up, and sorry,
that was long. I'm sorry, G-Money.
No. But also, please excuse the Frenchie. He's just like, he is sawing logs, and
I can hear him. He's
so.
You know what, G-Money? He needs a CPAP or something. It sounds like he's like not getting enough air. He needs a CPAP.
Well, he actually. It's funny. I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to be home long enough so he can get rhinoplasty. Don't even get me started.
The dog's going to get a nose job.
Before I do. No, but so just to kind of follow up on everything that you just said, it's a delicate balance, and like AI should be used as a tool, but people build relationships with other people. People buy from other people. People trust other people. And I feel like AI, there are definitely so many different tools that can go and help out through the candidate experience and make a smoother transition and actually go and save time for the recruiter. But also, I feel like that there's a bunch of different benefits that can go and help out the client when it comes to maybe getting into communication with us to go and get to the right person with the right information. Or if there is like, thinking about like whenever you call up your pharmacy, it's like press 1 for this, press 2 for
Right.
that. And it's like, did you know you can do this online? That's just a terrible, terrible example. But thinking about that whole seamless transition
Self-service.
where you get to the right person to have the right conversation to get the right result within the fastest
Yeah.
amount of time, because time is the most valuable thing that we have to offer.
Gina, you made me think of something. Steve, you guys made me think of something. Okay. We've all gone, and at a certain point, like we've had to deal with like our bank or the airline, and it's great to do all the basic things we need to do. But at a certain point, you just need to talk to a human. If you've got a complex situation, or you're trying to figure out a workaround for something, and like I had a problem with my website and my newsletter, and I couldn't get away from this bot. I just wanted to talk to somebody so they would understand what I needed. And it was getting so frustrating to the point where I'm like, hey, GoDaddy, I would never sign up for your website or your newsletter or work with you again if I had to go and start from the beginning, right? So I'm giving them a big thumbs down. But for the companies, translate that over to staffing. For the ones that can not eliminate, again, the need to talk to a human that can help guide you. There's only so much a robot or a bot or AI can do right now. It can't take the place of someone who really needs help. So GB, you made me really think of that when it came to, in our daily lives, we're consumers and we get trapped sometimes, right?
Oh my goodness. Like, I gotta tell you, like, huge shout out to Delta. Please sponsor us so I can just have more flights. No, but like the thing is, I was going through several things because last year I ended up losing my wallet, all of this. They're like, go through the bot system, go through the bot system. And so I went through it, and it was like, I just wasn't. And then finally they gave me a number where I could talk to someone, and they actually did return my wallet. Like, because I was able to talk to someone and get that all out there. And even when it comes to my pest control company, they keep trying to do it monthly when I have a quarterly subscription. And it's like, they're like, oh, hold please. All right. And so just doing those seamless transitions, because AI can take care of a lot with like confirmations and all these other things, but actually having someone go and it can just be 2 minutes of their time, and it makes your life so much easier. And so I think it's a delicate balance, and we need to apply that to staffing firms. And I feel like it's going to have to be the right approach and the right size approach. I don't think that there's any one size fits all staffing firms when it comes
No.
to both candidates and clients.
Yeah, I know we're way over time here. I don't disagree with anything you both said, but I would say that you're going to see an emergence of not just staffing companies, but just companies overall, where 99% of it's going to be AI, and it's going to be really good. And you're going to like when it comes, like Amazon, for example. Like, I never have to talk to anyone on Amazon to get an issue resolved. A missing package.
I actually had to this weekend. I correct you.
All right. Well, anecdotally, I've never had to talk to anyone in Amazon for any issue. It's pretty intuitive. And so, but then as we have that emergence of, you're talking to AIs every day, you have AI assistants, your shower talks to you when you're taking a shower and gives you your schedule for the day. And you ask it fun facts, and it's going to tell you, like, all that stuff's going to be fun and cool. And I'm looking forward to that future. But there's going to be this emergence of human only businesses, no AI, right? Just like, events, public events were shut down during COVID. Now there's the events industry is just screaming. It's going gangbusters because people want to get out again, right? And they want to socialize. They want to be together. And so I think there'll be some sort of repellent towards AI. And so I think you're going to be able to decide which type of business you want to be and how you can be most effective. And I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to that. But I'm in the AI boat. If I could just hook myself up to an AI, I'd be complete.
Oh my goodness. This is why you're a robot.
That's why I'm a robot.
No, I think it's more of a delicate balance. Use AI to work with you, but I think the human element is definitely a very important component when it comes to everything. Especially when it comes to solving problems. And I gotta tell you, I like going back to Amazon. Okay, they lost a package. All right, and they've been can't find tracking for 3.5 weeks. Okay, and I can't return or get a refund unless if I have something. And so I'm going in through the bot, 30 minutes with the bot. Guess what? That's when I finally got the chance to have someone call me from Amazon, and it was a 2-minute problem solved.
Yeah.
With the resolution where I'm happy. So like that's where it's like you've got to have a balance.
You do. Yeah. Okay. Well, awesome conversation today. That was a lot of fun. Kim, watching you and Richard go back and forth. That was
It's
great.
always
It's
one
good
of my
to see
favorites.
multiple perspectives. So real quick, we got a couple announcements, but Kim, what's next? You're going to be at ASA World. You speaking at Finish the Year Strong or any other summit?
Oh, thank you. Yes, Staffing World. I will see both of you at Staffing World, October the 6th in Orlando, an easy drive for me. And I'll be giving a session on how to partner and team with MSPs better, right? So we can hopefully start to get some money out of those and not dread them so much. And then after that, for the month of November, we'll be at the giving a session at the Kansas Missouri Staffing Association in St. Louis in November. So I look forward to seeing you guys in 2 weeks.
Can't wait.
All right.
I
Sounds
will not
great.
miss your session. I cannot wait. Speaking of MSPs, we have a special series, 3-part series that starts next week. It's called Cracking the MSP Code. So we've got 2 very tenured, experienced VPs from 2 separate MSP staffing companies, so healthcare staffing specifically. And so the first episode, we're going to be, taking a look at the one-way mirror into the healthcare industry itself. So, what are facilities and clinicians truly struggling with? What are their needs? What does the demand look like? Then our second part, we're going to be talking about A players versus C players and how C players are actually costing you more than A players. And so we really drill into this with Josh and Mandy on how you can convince your MSP provider to up the bill rate for an A player versus a C player. And so we get into tactics there. And then the last episode of the trilogy, we're getting into compliance and risk and how you can be on the lookout for example, cybersecurity, like we talked about today. You got to have a much beefier cybersecurity policy, and then how you can grow your firm into 2026. So 3-part series, Kim, do not miss it. First episode drops October 2nd next
Which
week.
is what day?
Wednesday.
It's a Thursday. And more importantly,
Is someone's birthday?
Your birthday. Oh my God.
oh my goodness. So Kim,
I know it's your birthday.
you and I will have to go.
Can you
grab
pick
a
out
bite.
your
We'll
own
celebrate my
gift?
birthday.
Pick out your own gift on behalf of me.
I'll just message your wife.
Yes, please do. John helps me pick out gifts for her and vice versa, because I didn't even remember your birthday. That's terrible.
But yes, so October 2nd, that's the first time that drops. All right, the first episode. And I guess just leave it up to the rest of the marketing team because there's been a lot of work going behind it. But Kim, once again, thank you so very much for your time.
Guys,
and
it's
just your
great. I
expertise.
love connecting with you guys. Thank you so much for inviting me in. And until next time, we'll
see you at ASA Staffing
All
World.
right.
See you.
All
Thanks,
right.
everybody.
Guys.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching today's episode. This episode is sponsored by Staffing Referrals. We have relied on staffing referrals for years to turn satisfied associates into brand ambassadors, keeping quality talent coming in and lift retention. See what it can do for you at staffingreferrals.com or click on the link in the description. Thanks for watching.
All right.